Today we're taking a look at a new project I invested in about a week ago. I'm already making some decent money on it. The price of their underlying asset has gone absolutely crazy, and we are talking about GND Protocol. Now, if you're unfamiliar with them, we are going to go into the details of it, but just as a summary, what they do offer, they have a few different things. I'm only invested in their farms, so their liquidity V3 on Uniswap. They do have farms and they make it a lot easier for people to invest in those concentrated liquidity pools, but they do also have an algorithmic stablecoin. They also offer staking of their native token, and they also do have liquidity pools as well. So if we take a look at my announcement on my Discord, I do have a free Discord if you want to join it and follow along with what I do with my investments. On May 4th, I actually posted this. I said I ended up doing some research on GND. I wanted to get in and see kind of what was happening with this project. So I put in $1,200 back then on this liquidity pool. So the wrapped Ethereum / GND, and that was on May 4th. Now, if we fast forward in time and we take a look at the same pool that I have today, we can see that this liquidity pool amount that I have, so my liquidity is now worth around $1,550 because the price of GND has gone up quite a lot since I last posted that announcement. And we can also see that I am earning fees or rewards for providing liquidity in this pool. So right now, the APR is around 182%, and that's split between GND and the XGND token. And we can see that right now I've made about $16 of GND and about $50 of XGND, and this has been about 6 days so far. So not too bad for the amount of money I put in, but obviously the price of GND has gone parabolic over the last few days. So if we go back to May 4th, we can see that I invested right around, I believe it was $310 when GND was around that price. That's when I provided liquidity. And right now, literally GND is at $542. Now, hindsight is 2020, and it would have probably been more profitable for me to just buy GND, hold it in my wallet, and wait for the price appreciation to happen. But I decided to put it in a liquidity pool, and just for the fun of it, if I held my GND in liquid assets, so from 317-ish all the way to the price now, that's up about 71%, and currently I would be up about 30 to 35%. Now, if we dive deeper and understand a bit more what GND is, first and foremost, it is the mother protocol of this GMUSD, which is a yield-bearing as well as a fully backed stablecoin that is built on top of Uniswap V3's liquidity engine. So I know that was worthy, and they also effectively employ GAIN protocols, GDAI, and GMD's protocol, which is GMD USD, as well as the GND farm. So that was a lot of GND, GMD, and farms. So essentially, what does this mean? So essentially, their two main products are, one, their GMUSD, which is a stable asset. It's an algorithmic stable coin that is essentially going to go up in time as they are generating yield from these different strategies, as well as their GND farm, which is what I've invested in, which we earlier took a look at. But that is basically utilizing Uniswap V3's liquidity pools, and it's providing users with rewards. Now, if we quickly glance over GMUSD, which as we said is their algorithmic stablecoin, this one here is fully backed by GDAI as well as GMD USD. It's also very important to know that it's an algorithmic stablecoin, so there is going to be a minting and redeeming of this said stablecoin, but there is also a yield-bearing aspect to the stablecoin because it's using the GAINS network as well as the GMD protocol to make money, and as well as Uniswap V3's liquidity pools, they are making money, thus increasing the price of this algorithmic stablecoin, and they are essentially saying that it should appreciate in value at an average of 15 to 25% annually. Now, I'm not going to get into everything here because I'm not per se in this GMD USD. I'm more in the liquidity pools of it, using it for Uniswap V3, but there is more information on how this algorithmic stablecoin works, whether or not it's above peg or below peg, what's going to happen, is it going to mint, burn, or what happens there. So I'm not going to go into that. They also have incentivization as to how they can actually help this maintain peg and maintain this ratio between everything. So again, not going to go into it, but what I want to talk about is the tokenomics of GND. So first and foremost, they do have a max supply of 100,000 tokens, and that includes the GND as well as the XGND, which is kind of their vested token that you need to vest for a certain amount of time for it to become GND. So there's 18,000 of those tokens that are held or allocated for the community, 10,000 in GND and 8,000 in XGND. Then in terms of liquidity, we have 10,000 GND. The treasury is actually held in XGND. The farm incentives for the GND farms, which is what I am utilizing with this project, they have 40,000 tokens distributed per 1 year until 100,000 is reached. And here is 30,000 XGND and 10,000 GND. So the daily average of that would be about 27.5 GND given out to people who are using these farms on a daily basis, obviously distributed around everyone, as well as 82.5 XGND. So max supply of 100,000, that's what we have. And we also see that the team owns 15,000 XGND, which is distributed over 1 year. Now, they did have a private sale, they did have a public sale, so there could be some sell-offs here. Obviously, the price has appreciated quite substantially since it launched, so be aware of that. Now, what I do really like about the tokenomics of GND is their different deflationary mechanisms. They have 3. So if we take a look at these, a buyback and burn, very basic. Many protocols are doing that. They're going to be using about 40 to 60% for buyback and burns of GND in the open market. Nothing really new there, but what I do like is point number 2, which is the XGND redemptions. So if I don't read this and I actually bring you on to their website, if you go to Vest and Lock, as you may recall, you are earning XGND as well as GND for providing liquidity in this project. What happens is that to convert your XGND into GND, it needs to vest, and here's your vesting schedule. So you can either vest your XGND for 20 days and receive 50% of it, or if you want to vest it for 200 days, you'll receive 100% of it. So I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to wait 200 days to receive 100% of their GND. So I believe that most people are going to be, you know what, I'm vesting this for 20 days. I am going to take 50% of my XGND, be happy with that. But what happens to that other 50% is that it's actually going to get burned. So that's obviously a huge upside to this burning mechanism because people are going to want to take their money faster rather than later. And that's obviously going to help the deflationary mechanism of GND. Now, if we quickly take a look at the utilities and the reasons as to why you may want to hold XGND rather than just converting it into GND, well, first and foremost, you are going to get a share of the protocol's revenue. So it says XGND stakers will receive 20% share of protocol's revenue in ETH, so that's obviously a benefit here. Then it says that GND will use an RP point system, very similar to a multiplier point system that GMX uses. This essentially just incentivizes people to stake longer. Obviously, as you stake longer, you're going to make more money. Not financial advice here. I'm not doing that per se. And you also have the voting rights associated to that. And you can essentially control where the liquidity goes into this project. Because if I bring you back to farms here, as you can see the total amount of votes. And obviously, as there are more votes for a certain pool, people are going to be incentivized to provide liquidity there because the fees are going to be higher and people are going to make more money. So to summarize everything, this is essentially how this entire ecosystem works. You have the wrapped assets, you have GDAI as well as GMD USD. That is going to be swapped for GMUSD, which is the algorithmic stablecoin asset of the GND protocol. Then you can also see they have two native tokens. They have the GND token, which you can obviously sell, lock, whatever you may want to do with it, stake it as well. Then you also have the XGND token, which is that vested token that needs to vest to control or turn it back into GND. Then you can also hold and stake XGND for a portion of the protocol's fees. You can also participate in the GND farms, which is what I am doing. That's utilizing Uniswap v3 pools, and you can make some money by earning fees that way. Now you can also see that the buyback in burn is initiated in all three realms of this project, which in my opinion is a great way to make GND deflationary, and I think these mechanisms are definitely working. Again, not financial advice. I am invested in this. I want to see it do well. And lastly, if we just take a look at their partners and who they've launched with as of today, we have Trader Joe, STG, obviously GMD and Gains, Buffer Finance, Ramses, Vela, which I also like, and YFX. So those are some pretty key partners. Again, I'm going to keep monitoring exactly what happens with this project. Like I said, I've been in it for about 6 days now. It's been doing very well. The price keeps going up, but as I said, there was a pre-sale, there was a private sale, there was a public sale. So in my opinion, there's obviously going to be some profit taken along the way. Don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. And with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.